Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power usually provokes one of two reactions. People either treat it as a toxic manual for aspiring sociopaths, or they revere it as the ultimate blueprint for getting ahead. Both camps miss the reality of the text. Office politics and power dynamics exist whether you participate in them or not. But executing all 48 laws to the letter requires severe emotional detachment and moral compromises most people aren't built for. The real variable here is how much of your authentic self you are willing to sacrifice in exchange for control over your workplace. To figure out your tolerance, we can map these laws onto a decision tree. This flowchart starts with one basic question. Is your daily work environment collaborative, or is it zero-sum? If you are navigating a strictly zero-sum hierarchy where leverage is everything, you move down the right side of the board. This is the offensive strategy, built for the climber. If you are in a toxic space and just want to survive, or if you are in a healthy environment where collaboration actually matters, you move down the left branches. These dictate a defensive posture for the defender, or a complete opt-out for the ethical operator. Interacting with these laws is a challenge of resource allocation. Your strategy depends entirely on your psychological tolerance for the required tactics. Take the defender. This is someone stuck in a toxic hierarchy who needs to survive manipulators without adopting their traits. For this profile, the core shields are Law 3, conceal your intentions, and Law 4, always say less than necessary. Looking at this quadrant chart comparing social risk to strategic utility, Laws 3 and 4 sit comfortably in the low-risk, moderate utility zone. They provide solid leverage without making you a target. Applying them means actively holding back in meetings. When asked for your opinion, you provide vague, sphinx-like answers instead of full transparency. By actively restricting the information you broadcast, you effectively starve ambitious rivals of the conversational ammunition they need to build a case against you or undermine your work. But constant guardedness comes with a heavy tax. Keeping everyone at arm's length alienates well-meaning peers and suffocates spontaneous collaboration. You successfully deflect direct attacks, but relying on these open-ended non-answers slowly dilutes your presence in the workplace. The defender purchases safety from office predators. The currency they use to buy it is authentic human connection. The climber faces a different reality. They operate in a ruthless zero-sum environment where outmaneuvering the competition is the only way upward. Surviving here requires the heavy artillery of the text. Law 7. Getting others to do the work while taking the credit. Law 11. Keeping people completely dependent on you. And Law 15. Crushing your enemies entirely. If we map these tactics back onto the risk matrix, they land squarely in the top right. They offer maximum utility, but carry the highest possible risk. To execute this, you have to systematically isolate key operations so only you possess the knowledge to complete them. At the same time, you actively neutralize anyone positioned to replace you. This manufactures a form of job security that makes you indispensable. When the organization can't function without your specific, isolated expertise, you eliminate the threat of replacement for leadership roles. However, if your colleagues uncover that you are artificially bottlenecking projects or manipulating their work, your reputation is permanently destroyed. You will reach the very top of the corporate hierarchy, and you will have to survive there entirely alone. The climber achieves total structural control over their environment, but they must endure a lifetime of paranoia to keep it. Whether you play defense or offense, executing any of these strategies requires mastering Law 25, recreate yourself, and Law 38, think as you like, but behave like others. This demands that you completely sever your true private personality from your meticulously crafted public workplace persona. You blend into the existing corporate culture with friction, allowing you to silently advance your own agenda while no one is paying attention. You survive by seamlessly adapting to the room, shifting your behaviors instantly to match whatever the corporate environment demands from you on any given day. The hidden cost of this constant adaptation is severe, compounding cognitive fatigue. Playing a highly calculated character for 40 hours a week requires immense mental bandwidth. Over time, that constant performance inevitably leads to burnout and a crisis of identity. This chart shows the exact inverse relationship at play. External career leverage climbs steadily upward, while internal psychological energy bottoms out. A Machiavellian persona works perfectly for blending in, but it essentially trades your long-term mental health for short-term social leverage. Human nature and office politics are immutable facts of professional life. But treating Greene's laws as a rigid ideology that you must follow is a trap. This scorecard helps you lock in your approach based on your environment. If you prioritize mental peace over dominance, you fit the defender profile. Your optimal strategy is the hazard map, focusing on laws 3 and 4. You study the laws strictly to spot when ambitious colleagues are trying to manipulate you, not to employ the tactics yourself. You will successfully protect your boundaries. In exchange, you have to accept that you will likely be passed over for rapid, aggressive promotions. If you are optimizing for leverage in a cutthroat environment, you are the climber. Your strategy is the full playbook, utilizing laws 7, 11, 15, and 25. You commit completely to emotional detachment, executing the offensive laws without hesitation to consolidate power. You will conquer the hierarchy and gain plenty of useful pawns, but you forfeit the ability to ever have genuine, trusting colleagues. Absolute victory under these laws leaves you standing at the very top, surrounded by people you manipulate, and completely devoid of friends. The 48 Laws of Power offers incredible leverage, but remember Law 40, despise the free lunch. You must choose your strategy based entirely on the psychological price you are willing to pay.